So my birthday party is over now, and I think I shall serve you something. So it's supernatural you want, well, you've had a werewolf story, a vampire story, and a voodoo story. Now let's see. I've got the recipe. Come in, I'll cook up a mummy story in my crudy cauldron. Yep, it's your shiver chef, the Crypt keeper, ready to dish out his tasty tale of terror for this issue of our case. So draw up to the bubbling pot. Tuck your shrouds under your chins, fasten your drew cups, and feast on the foul fare I'd call. Since it's the last yarn in this issue, this wraps it up. Flaming Egyptian sun blazed down upon the three archaeologists, sucking the perspiration from their pores and sending it in tiny streams down their faces. They worked feverishly, first one, then the other, digging into the burning sand at the base of the towering glyph.
It's got to be here. It's got to. Every shred of evidence we've pieced together says this is the spot.
Do not be disappointed if it's not, Arnold. We have been wrong before. Why don't you rest now? Remember your heart.
Dr. Arnold Munson sat down and wiped his soaking wet face with his handkerchief. He studied his two associates, Professor Thomas Steele and Dr. Jerome Grable, as they continued digging.
Are on the verge of the most valuable archaeological find of the century, and I have to watch my heart. I'm as heavy as a 20-year-old just because I had a slight heart attack.
You were advised not to even go along this expedition, Arnold. No less dig like that. Another heart attack could be fatal, Arnold. Get that through your stubborn, thick skull.
Dr. Jerome Grable pointed at the spot where they'd been digging.
Come, Arnold, look!
What is it, Jeremy?
The entrance! The entrance to the tomb! Typical of the warnings placed at the entrance to other pharaohs' tombs.
At the bottom of the excavation was a round iron ring embedded in a huge partially uncovered slab of stone.
Give me a shovel. Let me... Arnold, take it easy, please. I will finish uncovering the slab. We can manage, Arnold.
Soon the stone block had been fully cleared of sand, as Arnold anxiously watched as Thomas and Jerome tugged at it.
We found it! We found it!
Finally, the large stone slab was swung away, revealing a dark opening with dusty steps descending into the blackness. The musty odor of of decay and rot of things long buried, and air 3,000 years old seared their nostrils. Footsteps echoed into the cavernous blackness, shattering the silence of centuries, flickering light from the lantern Tom's garaged walls that had not felt light for over 100 generations. The three men descended into the shaft.
I counted 55 steps already.
We're nearing the bottom.
The steps ended before a small door. Its surface was exquisitely decorated with typical examples of ancient Egyptian artistry. Over the door was a tablet inscribed with hieroglyphics.
What does it say, Thomas? You're the hieroglyphics expert.
Jerome's laughter was thin and tinged with nervousness. It rippled through the silence and echoed up the stairs of the shaft.
They were supposed to scare off wandering bands of thieves.
Arnold tried to push the door open.
It's sealed. We'll have to smash it. Lend a hand here, Jeremy. Step away, Arnold.
Flinging their full weight against the sealed tomb entrance door, Dr. Gabriel and Professor Steele finally managed to break it down. Light skulls burned out, as if they each enjoyed a secret they would not share.
Perhaps these are the remains of thieves who once broke in.
Who might have broken into the tombs and stolen the treasures buried with the pharaohs.
Then who are they?
Thomas darted forward.
Look, on the floor. Jewels, jewels! Arnold, Jeremy, come see! Good Lord, a fortune in precious stones!
Professor Thomas Steele scooped up handfuls of the sparkling gems hungrily.
Rubies, emeralds, sapphires, millions of dollars worth. Take it easy, Arnold. Don't excite yourself. Remember your heart.
Here! In here! It's the burial chamber.
The lid of the sarcophagus was removed.
Get that end, Jeremy.
The mummy of Ika Mukama.
Perfectly preserved.
Thomas stared at Arnold.
But if we report that we've found the tomb, we'll have to turn the treasure over to them. But we found it. We sweated and burned out in that hot sun until we discovered it. Isn't it right, Jeremy?
Shut up, you fool! Can't you see Arnold's too righteous to claim the treasure for himself?
Jerome took Thomas by the arm and jerked him into a corner.
Then we've got to get rid of him. He stands in our way.
Later that night in the camp of the three archaeologists near the entrance to the tomb.
Is he asleep?
Yes. Now this is what you do. Go down into the tomb, unwrap the mummy of Ika Mukama, and wrap yourself in its windings. Then shout or scream. I will awaken Arnold and tell him that you must be down there. When we reach the burial chamber, you go into mummy act, and I will start shouting about the curse.
I get it. His heart. He'll drop dead of fright.
Exactly, and when we bring his body back to Cairo, we'll claim he had a heart attack from disappointment over the failure of our expedition.
And the treasure will be ours.
Alright, go ahead, and hurry.
Wait for my shout.
Thomas went down into the tomb. Jerome sat in his cot for a long time, growing more and more uneasy finally.
What's that?
Arnold sat bolt upright on his cot. Jerome leaped to his feet. Thomas' blood-curdling scream came again.
Oh!
Let's go. Hurry, Arnold! Hurry!
Suddenly they reached the treasure chamber. Thomas' lamp set up on the floor, illuminating the entire room. Beyond was the burial chamber. Arnold stopped. burial chamber, shambling along, tottering weakly, his windings hanging loosely. Jerome had to control himself to keep from laughing. Thomas looked so comical. Then Jerome went into his act.
The curse, Arnold! The curse on the entrance door!
The wrapped feature stumbled forward.
The curse is true, Arnold! The mummy has risen!
It was almost upon them.
Arnold, come on! Let's run!
Arnold crumbled to the floor. Jerome knelt to examine him.
He's dead!
Jerome began to laugh. The wrapped feature stopped.
Good work, Thomas! Good work! Just one thing.
Jerome drew the pistol from under his shirt.
I want that treasure for myself. Thanks for your help. A thing you didn't count on, Thomas. You see?
Jerome fired at the swaying feature before him. The bullet tore through the wrapping, but the feature did not fall.
For God's sakes, I shot you, Thomas! Die! Die!
Jerome backed off, emptying his gun into the winding encased feature. But the mummy kept coming. Jerome backed into the burial chamber. The sarcophagus was open.
Good Lord!
The man in the mummy case had a look of sheer horror on his face.
Thomas? It's you? Thomas? Thomas? Who's that?
The mummy was right behind Jerome, almost touching him. Keanu, what's his fucking name took care of the disturbers of his sanctity, as the curse had predicted. After that, he tossed the bodies on the pile with the other skeletons, yawned, shut the front slab once more, and went back to sleep, which is more than you'll be able to do now that you've finished CK Smack. Well, my children will be popping next time in the World of Horror. Bye now.